we feeling it yet? It's the playoffs, baby. Well, not for everyone, but we aren't through the first week, and it has been absolute chaos already. The Battle of Ontario, the Battle of Florida, and the battle of trying to outscore your goaltending. We've seen some out of this world goals. I mean, come on. The skill in this game right now is ridiculous. We've seen absurd saves, some hilarious moments.
It was blinding them. They couldn't hear me.
I love Malkin much better.
It's a new definition of a 5-hole.
And a whole lot of playoff hockey. So let's get right to it with the nasty. Starting with that game 1 between the Canes and Devils, where Carolina absolutely brought it to the Devils. They had players dropping like flies, guys leaving in swarms. It looked like a freaking war zone out there. And this came after Markstrom was out there fighting for his life, facing 45 shots. He was shell-shocked and just started mowing guys down, and in the process, friendly fire sent Cody Glass to the ice. You hate to see it. Damn it, I meant to get you. And so while the Devils fell on Easter Sunday, it didn't stop Markey going after Svech again and swinging at him again. He nearly caught the ref this time. Dude is a maniac back there. Headed up north to Winnipeg, where the Blues and Jets got the playoffs started. They did so with a bang. It's been a physical series, to say the least, but no hit was bigger than Game 2. Logan Stanley with a bone-crushing, soul-snatching hit on Kyrou. Man, a little while later, Shen demolished Lowry before the Shen brothers collided, who, by the way, their parents have got to be on pins and needles. As are the Zebras these playoffs, because damn, speaking of dropping like flies, no one is safe out there. Howden caught a linesman in Vegas that sent him down. Tampa, Florida last night saw Scotty Terry catching a putt from Kucherov as he was in some pain, and in Winnipeg we had a linesman that had to be replaced. But you know what? Tell me what this slew foot, this cross-check to the face, or this cross-check to the face, or hell, this headbutt from Burnsy all have in common. Well, apparently it's that they're not penalties, as the officiating so far has just been splendid. It's the playoffs. Speaking of officials, this was great. With the Battle of Ontario back, there's been plenty of physicality in this one as well. We saw Benoit dropping Cousins with a pretty one, but after a fiery Game 1, a 6-2 score, you better believe these clubs were going at each other's throats near the end. And out of it came a laundry list of penalties, to the extent that the ref needed a cheat sheet to name them all. But noteworthy with this series, you remember last season when Ridley Gregg ripped a slapper into the empty net, causing a bit of a dust-up? Well, in Game 1, we saw Gregg catch Tavares up high. He initially got a 5, was reduced to a 2, but he also went down and into Stolarz in that game, and so after he lost his stick here, Matthews decided to pick it up and snapped it. Then in Game 2, Stolarz, again with Gregg in front, went to town on him. At least 4 penalties here before he finally did get one. I don't think they forgot about him. Headed to Washington, we saw Wilson lay a massive hit on Gooley behind the net, and then the 240-pound Ovi sent the 180-pound Caulfield flying. As Game 1 of this one was also fun. Much closer and scrappier, I think, than maybe I thought it'd be, but Anderson with the pettiness here was fantastic, and I love this stuff. Lawton bumped Giroux in their game, as the former teammates have been going at each other quite a bit. And then in Dallas, speaking of former teammates, I mean, damn. But with that, how about we lighten the mood with some quick ones? And have you ever seen an anthem quite like this? The now infamous harmonica ladies, who seem to put a spell on old Stuart, as not his best showing this game. He let in 5 on 23 shots, and so despite McJesus rising, putting the team on his back, nearly breaking it in the process to get them back to 5 apiece with 90 seconds to go, you better believe the Kings only needed 47 seconds as they'd come back and beat Skinner immediately to win the game. Now, to be fair, they did leave him high and dry defensively quite a bit, but headed back to Toronto despite these chants. They definitely didn't have him triggered.
That's not going to affect me and could care less. I mean, I don't really give a shit.
But I'll tell you who does have me triggered. This dude in Tampa. I mean, what on God's green earth is this? Inside of you, there are two wolves. And inside of Duhaime, there is an absolute dog. I mean, come on, that is so good. Back to Winnipeg, we had Colonel Sanders in the building, out there just hustling. And over in Carolina, we had a mini Jarvis in the building, who, by the way, was fired up after their Game 2 victory. And then while we saw Matthews out there snapping twigs, he was also out there slaying them. I mean, check out this pass to Marner.
Nice.
And then this was pretty good as well. With the whiteout from the Jets, it had Monty's bald head shining bright like a diamond.
It was blinding them. They couldn't hear me. All they were squinting the whole time.
What a beauty. In the third, down a goal, pressure high, and he's out there singing. On the contrast, a little more tense in his style is the Chief, though. As Savard in Game 1, after the second goal, fired up. What the hell are you doing? I thought this was hilarious. And then this one, I know the Penguins are not in the playoffs, but this was too good not to share.
You can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first.
While we're at it, why not another? Anderson revealed he played the last 12 games of the season injured.
So that felt great. Yeah.
That is a hockey player. Like Kyrou here, he didn't miss a shift after this hit. And then in the NBA, I mean, we have LeBron. Yeah. Anyway, lastly, coming into their series with Washington, both Laine and Demidov were asked about playing against Ovechkin.
Doesn't matter. Couldn't care less.
I love Malkin much better.
And I don't know if that fired him up or what, but he was great. He scored the game opener, and despite having the most playoff goals amongst all active players, what if I told you the greatest goal scorer of all time had never scored a playoff OT winner? Well, so much for that. You see, when the defense goes here and you leave 897 goals open right there, yeah, it tends to not go so well. As what a goal. He caught it out of midair and then, I mean, what a celly. Come on. So good. And so with that, how about we get to the goals of the week? Because, wow, did we get some tasty ones. In Tampa, it was Sam Bennett batting one out of the air to open the scoring with an absolute nasty goal. And speaking of air, check out the air on this thing. That's got to be 6 feet high, as Kaprizov sent Boldy down to open the scoring in Game 2. And while we're on the subject, in Game 1, he had another beauty. It was just a disgusting pass also for Boldy. Speaking of passes, this one came from Scheifele in Winnipeg, threading one through the entire Blues team, connects with Connor for a tasty game winner. Over in Dallas, it was Lehkonen who opened the scoring for the series, falling down, ends up booting it in for just an odd one, as the Avs seem to be making a habit of the falling goals. O'Connor here somehow able to go backhand roof daddy on this one. Then going back to LA, we saw Quentin Byfield with a little catch and release before banking it in from below the goal line to beat Skinner. And then how about this for a snipe from Snuggerud? With under a second to go on the clock, he fired this one past Hellebuck clean. But nothing gets closer than this. Brett Howden on the empty net scored with a 10th of a second remaining on the clock. I mean, literally as close as it gets. And then lastly, Matthew Tkachuk returned for Game 1. And so after Jake Gensel scored Tampa's first of the playoffs on a power play, he made sure to chirp at Tkachuk, who took the penalty. But things didn't go exactly to plan for the Bolts, as Matthew Tkachuk with time scored a nasty one for his first and then scored a second not 5 minutes later. What a return. But with that, let's round things out with the goalies. And I'll start with Mackenzie Blackwood, who's been great so far, but none were better than this one on Marchand. Full banana split. Wow.
That's a new definition of a 5-hole.
Similarly, Skinner wasn't great, but he did absolutely rob Kuzmenko in game 1, as did Anderson in Carolina on Meyer. A good first stop, but then gets the paddle down for the second. How about it? On the other end, it's Markstrom who's had a few, but this one I think was his best one-on-one with Robinson. But speaking of Markey, he got bailed out by Pesce on a crazy close call in game 2. Wow. Then back to Dallas, we had the Otter flashing a little leather to push the game to overtime, and in Toronto, similarly, it was Stolarz flashing the leather to hold on and push it to overtime. But yeah, I think that's going to about do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.